Shout out to US ARC and all US ARC members. If you don't know what US ARC is, don't be ashamed. Just go ahead and click the third link in the description below. See what US ARC is all about, okay? You never know when legislations are going to hit your backyard, so that's why it's very important to consider becoming a US ARC member today. These numbers really do matter, and they look at it for consideration when it comes to battling legislation. So first and foremost, thank you, Phil Goss. Thank you to anybody out there who partners up and volunteers with US ARC organization. Thank you for anyone out there who's a US ARC member. And if you can't become a US ARC member today, please talk about it on your platforms. Let your neighbors know, let all your pet stores know what US ARC is here for, and it's here to fight for our animal rights. Thank you to every US ARC member and US ARC supporter out there.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, I love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, coolest reptile network in the world. Episode 710, all in the tree Tuesdays with just myself. I'm your boy MJ, Marshall Mendez, Red Mountain Herps, and Bill Stiegel, Phoenix Reptiles. You're in for a treat. If this is your first time listening or watching, please do me a favor. If you're enjoying what you're witnessing, please smash that like button and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, select all. Be reminded every episode released out of the network. A happy late Thanksgiving, boys. It's good to have you here.
What's up?
Happy Tuesday, guys, and hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving.
Same.
It was great. It was great. Can you guys believe the year's fucking over? Like, is this what happens as you get older?
Yes. They get shorter and shorter.
Bro, this is crazy how quick things are just going by now.
That means you're doing things right.
I guess so, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, what a year. I don't know if did you get my facts, Marshall, of tonight's agenda? I don't know if you have the printouts. Jesus.
I did.
Okay, cool.
I got it on my phone right here.
What a guy. But no, seriously, man, I kind of want to organize some topics for tonight. I feel like this is going to be the last, just all in the Tree Tuesday boys episode. I want to talk about a lot about this year. Kind of want to go around the horn first and kind of kick things off. Why don't we start with you, Bill? Man, I don't know what highlight you could really pinpoint. I'm sure you have many, but let's kind of talk about some of the biggest highlights for you in 2025, why they were so big in your book, and just some of the things you're proud about the most.
Yeah, I guess first and foremost, production-wise, I had the best year I've ever had this year in quality and quantity of Neos I produced.
Yeah.
Super blessed to have that happen. Just so grateful to be able to work with these animals full time and, make this my career, my living. It's been something that I would have dreamed that I would be sitting here after I retired from my medical practice 8 years ago. And I never thought I'd be sitting here in this position. And so thankful to have you guys. I think both you guys and the podcast in general were responsible for a lot of that success. It helps me, promote my animals, obviously, and try to share some knowledge and keep this hobby going and growing. And so, I think, the podcast and the production this year have been really the highlights of my, reptile keeping this year.
It's crazy. I'm sure you guys could both, like what Bill just said, I feel like there's episodes we've had that open up things that we haven't thought about in certain areas of whatever we're working with. Like, I mean, one of the things that stands out the most with you, Bill, is that adjustment period with the egg box,
Sure.
Like, you were open about it and you already kind of knew what you had to do and you had to switch it up, which you did. And it had, your results were great by doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Luckily it really only cost me, to be honest, I think last season it cost me some animals because I was using, the style of incubation box towards the end of last year. And I think it definitely cost me some Neos, surviving the incubation process. And then the first clutch I had this year just absolutely crashed. I ended up getting one Neo surviving of maybe 12, 14, 15 eggs.
What clutch was that, Bill?
That was the very first clutch. So that would have been Contagion, which was the first time he bred to a Jaeger biscuit female called Patches.
Right.
And so ended up with one Neo from that clutch that turned out awesome. I sold it.
Of course.
But it did great, and it's doing great in its new home. So,
yeah.
Repeating that pairing as we speak.
Yeah.
So, that was a good one. It could have and should have been a much better one. But, we learned from our mistakes, and I adjusted some things, and then the rest of the season, incubation went great.
Can you pinpoint what clutch carried the most excitement for you this year? Like the one that kind of, I don't know if there's levels to it when it gets to the shit that you're hatching out, Bill. I don't know if it's all the same. You plateau with excitement, but
I think there were a few clutches that stood out. That was one of them.
Yeah.
Even though I only yielded one Neo. The freight train, so lucky with that animal, produced 3 clutches this year. The freight train bred to the sickness offspring females. Both those clutches just turned out phenomenal. One of them was a repeat pairing, so I knew I was going to get good results with that. The other one was a first time pairing, but it was sisters to the other one that was very successful last year. So I had a good feeling about that clutch as well as how the Neos would turn out. And sure enough, they turned out great. In fact, you could put the 2 clutches up side by side, and I don't think, anybody would be able to pick out which dam sired the clutches. They were that close phenotypically, and they yielded pretty good clutches. Both of them, had more than 10 surviving Neos. That's Pathogen. That's the female that produced for the first time this year.
So we got the redo right here. We're getting ready for the do-over.
Yeah, I'm gonna repeat that pairing. I'm gonna rest Outbreak this year. She yielded back-to-back clutches.
Good for her.
She looks good, but I've just got other options with Freight Train, and
that's cool.
Just gonna let her rest, and and then the other clutch that I was excited about, even though I produced the sire, I don't own the sire, was the Sickness 2.0 clutch.
Yes. Oh my God.
And again, that yielded a pretty small clutch. I ended up with 4 viable Neos that all look fantastic. And that pairing is being repeated as we speak as well. So I think those 3 clutches were probably the pinnacle of my year.
There he is, 2.0.
Yeah,
Fuck.
That's 2.0. He's
what a beast of a snake, Bill.
He's as bad as they come.
Yeah. That's the ultimate package. That's the Tom Brady package right there.
Between him and the Sickness, just for what I like just personally, I don't think I could improve on that look any. I mean, maybe throw a little bit more blue in there where there's green, but that's about it.
Bill, I think with age, he's going to be blue. I think so. I think that green might turn more of a blue color with age. I really do.
You showed Pathogen in that picture that you showed. It's hard to tell, but she's become incredibly blue.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of years, you can just tell she's got a blue wash all over her there.
Yeah.
And she's 2 years younger or older, than 2.0, at least, right?
Yeah, at least.
No, 4 years. 4 years. My bad.
Yeah, she's 4 years older than 2.0.
Yeah.
And 2.0 is a Sickness offspring or a Jaeger offspring?
Jaeger to Biscuit.
Wow. So same parents. So
No, Sickness was Jaeger to a Wamena locality type.
Yeah. Okay. She passed away, right?
Yeah, both her and Jaeger are now gone.
Yeah.
The genes live on.
Good.
I was going to say the genes live on, and from what I've seen in both of their offspring, it was unfortunate to only get one clutch out of Sickness, but his genes have just continued to proliferate and bigger and better is what we always strive for.
Yeah, but how much worse would it be with no 2.0? At least you still got a huge piece to the remembrance of what Sickness was. You said, the legacy continues. And I feel like that's kind of the beauty, which I'm sure Marshall's been a part. I mean, look what he's doing with the albino finally, but finally with the enough time that you put in, anything that is a loss sometime comes back even better. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying 2.0 is better. Sicknesses have shoes that I don't think any snake could ever fill, but still, you always got something to remember what started everything, right?
Yeah, and I still have that Jaeger blood in so many animals, and I feel like any of those animals at any one given time could throw out a Sickness 3.0. So there's always that's why it brings me back every year, because I think there's always that chance another animal like that can pop out. So
yeah. All right, Marshall. The biggest thing for you this year. I mean, let's kind of recap the whole 2025 season for you. I think a lot of the babies you hatched out were beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
It's
been kind of a different kind of year for me. All the action happened right at the beginning. When you were here, which was that was February.
Yeah.
That's when I had both clutches, and they both hatched within a day or two of each other. And I think, so that was obviously a big part of it, a big part of the year. As far as the rest of the collection goes, I produced 2 ball pythons this year, which were, two, yeah, which were a carryover from a pairing that I did last year that went really late. So I didn't pair any ball pythons this year. Thin the collection out. I mean, this time last year, I think I was sitting on around 260 snakes. And right now I'm down under 100. So,
wow.
I mean, it's been super nice. I mean, I do kind of miss not having, babies to play with at this time of year, but also having the extra free time and just not having to, do as much as far as maintenance and work during the week. It's been nice. Another thing is, keeping the albino alive for another year. This one has now lived, I want to say it's lived longer than the other one previously. Yeah. Than the other one that lived, over or close to 2 years. This one's not quite 2 years yet. It's probably, I don't know. It's probably 20 months or something like that. So still don't know what sex it is. I'm kind of leaning towards female just because it doesn't, most males in my experience, even at this age, they poop regularly, Right. This one's really bad about kind of holding on to things and then, either end up having to soak her or whatever to get her to go. So I'm kind of leaning towards female, but who knows? I could be wrong. And then, the babies from this year have all turned out to be nice. It started off as the best year that I've had in many years, is because even though it was only 2 clutches, they were both really big.
Yeah.
And you know, I think I started off with close to 20 something. I ended up having like 30 something. I have to go back and look at my notes to be 100% sure, but I think I started off with close to 40 eggs, 30 something eggs, of which only about 20 something hatched between the two clutches. Yeah. Who knows what, you know, that could have been. I did go back to vermiculite this year, which I didn't have some of the problems that I had last year as far as babies, you know, in like a really dry egg and getting tangled up in the umbilicus, but had kind of a different set of problems, and that they were all kind of runty. The eggs were a little bit small to begin with, so I don't know if that had anything to do with, you know, with the pairing or what, but pretty low survival rate. I think I'm down to like 8 neonates now from those 20 something. And they all just kind of, you know, either never established or lost a couple to prolapse. Not many, 2 to prolapse, I think. And then, you know, the good news is that most of the ones that died pretty rapidly after they hatched. So, you know, never made it to first shed. So it wasn't like there was a bunch of work and time and effort put into them. But still, it kind of sucks to start off with that kind of high numbers and end up with only a handful. But, you know, that's how it goes sometimes.
You're going to listen to your boy MJ next year. That's why, huh?
What's that?
You're going to listen to your boy MJ next year, aren't you?
Listen to you on what? What didn't I listen?
Pal, dude, we can help your ratio here as far as what's surviving. We could fix this.
The student has become the master.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing shit die on Marshall's hands. I'm sick of it. I could have that if I could step in. I'm just trying to help.
We need a chondro intervention.
Telling you, like, yeah. Either way, no. Listen, I gotta say, Marshall, like, you're seeing shit that no one's ever seen. Obviously, I want to know what you've experienced differently with this albino as it's changing its OCC. Like, are you getting any different vibes? Like, I mean, I guess it's really hard to tell.
No, not really. Go ahead. There's a pretty recent photo of it. Yeah, those are pretty recent. I think there maybe is one newer.
This one right here.
That's it. You can't really see. It'll be hard to see in that one. But if you go back to go to the one right, that one.
Okay, this one.
Yeah. So you can see it's got some. I think that, you know, there was at one point I thought that any black that would be on the albino would end up being white, but I don't think that's the case. I think all those dark red flecks that you see in this one are what black is, because I have a sibling to this one that looks real similar, except for wherever that one's got red flecks, it's black. And so who knows if it's really like a true black, or if if it's obviously I don't think it's true black. Otherwise it would, in theory, if this albino gene works like all the other ones, it would be white. That's how it is in balls and burns and, you know, white or yellow. But so I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's going into the same kind of golden color as all the other ones that have lived this long. I think it's going to be a nice golden yellow color. Obviously, the baby pattern, it may have some, who knows if that'll just be like a different shorted shade of yellow. It's got some lavender kind of highlights around it. And it's kind of got even like a little bit of green on its head right now. But I remember the last one had that and it eventually faded away. So
looks really healthy.
Yeah, it's doing great.
Looks like a male, dude. I'm calling male.
I hope you're right.
We can only hope.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
I could be wrong, but I mean, I'm calling male. What are you feeding this snake at this stage right now, Marshall?
Small mice.
Okay. How often?
Like every, I don't know, sometimes every week, sometimes every 2 weeks, just kind of depends. And then if it doesn't poop, I may go a month and not feed it. So, you know, soak it. Like I said, I'll soak it. I'll get it to crawl around. I'll, you know, handle it for a couple of, 15, 20 minutes at a time. And it's just one of those, man, that doesn't likes to hold it all in. It's kind of frustrating, when you really want to feed it, but you have to kind of hold back because, you don't want 5-6 meals in it without it pooping. So.
Well, this sounds crazy. I mean, I could be wrong, but like, I don't know. That's why I kind of almost favored feeding rats, because I feel like they don't hold on to rats. They shit them out And I've noticed because I switched some of my snakes that were on rats. I went to mice just to kind of go back and forth, and they just don't seem to shit out the mice. They just seem to like hold on to it a lot longer, where you could feed them almost like 5-6 mice in a sense, versus like, okay, maybe they'll skip one meal on this shit with a rat, but they're going to shit by that second meal from what I've experienced. And I'm not feeding anything bigger, but I don't know. Like, and also I just don't know if it's, I mean, I don't know. It has to be a thing if they're not shitting regularly, but when is it a point where you should worry about it and when you shouldn't? What do you guys think about that? Like, when should you actually step in and do something?
I do something if after 3 meals they haven't done something, I'll stop feeding them. So I'll skip a week, and then if they still don't go, then I'll soak them. And I have some where that does it like immediately within a day. They soak them, and the next morning come in and they pooped.
Yeah.
And then I have others where you got to soak them multiple times. You've got to like make them exercise. You got to I'll do this thing where every time I come in the room, I'll take the perch off the cage and put it on the floor. So at least they have to crawl back up to the thing, and just keep doing that multiple times a day. Just try to keep them, moving. Sometimes that works. If it's summertime, I can take them outside and spray them with the hose. That'll work sometimes.
It's unusual for an animal that size to hold. Even being female. I just haven't experienced that. I've experienced it in older females, 3-4-year-old females. Mm-hmm. Usually when they're 2, I just haven't experienced that, even in females.
Yeah. Another thing too is it could be that I've been kind of gun shy since it did have that prolapse at the beginning of feeding it smaller meals than should, which, that could lead to not going as often. So I have here recently tried to, make sure I'm giving it something decent size, where you can actually see it in there, when I've fed it versus not leaving a lump at all. Although, I feed it about the same size as the other 2 sibs. I've got 1 sib and 1 other animal from 24, and they're about the same size, and they don't seem to have, they seem to have no problems as far as, they go regularly. It's just with this one for whatever reason.
Did you guys see? I was trying to look for it right now. I'm going to still look, but Keith Flax posted in the thread that fucking God damn, man.
It's funny because I had one pop up today. I almost sent it to you guys. It was from like 2012 or something like that. A picture pop up in my Google Photos or whatever. And man, it was the gnarliest prolapse I've ever seen. And it took pictures of it. And it was basically, it had a real hard turd that had come out, and it had gotten turned 90 degrees to the intestinal tract. Jesus. Oh, it was way worse than that one.
I remember you sent a picture. I know, please do. But I remember you sent a picture to us in the group chat. Remember, you soaked it and it died after that.
No, not this one.
Okay.
No, I soaked this one, and all I had to do was basically get the turd out, and it went back in on its own within like 15 minutes.
I don't even think I've shared with you guys. I experienced my first adult prolapse ever in a chondro about a month ago.
Whoa!
It was my Manicory female, and it looked similar to Keith's. I wouldn't say it was massive, but they all look gnarly when it happens.
You see the shit stuck in it right there? You see the turd?
Oh yeah, I can see the turd, and the turd that Alex and I manipulated out of ours was massive.
Yeah,
it was a big turd, and kind of like Marshall. What was so interesting in the difference between the adults and the neos that prolapse. So once that turd got out and we soaked it, we were literally had it under the sink, just running water on it, trying to manipulate the turd out. And once that turd came out, she almost did the rest of the work herself.
Yeah.
We manipulated the tail, but she was like literally sucking in her guts back in.
Check out the pictures I just sent you, MJ. I just DM'd them to you.
Oh, you DM'd them? All right, yeah. Because Bill, remember I talked about the 2 prolapses that I thought happened due to my humidity being so low. Those prolapses went back in on their own. One of them, no issue at all. But the other one had 2 meals, and then I walked in on it shitting, and it looked like it was a full prolapse, and I was like, oh my god, and I was like shaking my head like, dude, this is it, like I'm putting you down. So I closed it, but I went back, it was fully back in, like I don't know if it was just coming out because it was pushing so hard and it had to shit. But then I'm wondering, is this going to be a common thing where it's going to always prolapse when it shits, and it's just going to take the wrong shit to make it prolapse again? I'm not feeling good about this snake, I'll tell you that much. But it's happening where it's shitting and then going back in on its own. I took the
I'm gun shy to feed her again. She looks great. I kept her off the perches for maybe 10 days, and she's been back on the perches for a couple of weeks now. So she's due to be fed again. I'm probably going to feed her later this week or next week, but obviously it'll be a really small meal and see how she does. I have a feeling she's going to do great. This to me, this just looked like kind of like Marshall's example, just an anatomical abnormality where the turd just got turned sideways and she just couldn't get it out.
Oh my god, look at that! That's so gnarly.
That's about what mine looked like.
That looks.
I mean, you can see it. You can see the right, kind of. You can see the end of the butt right there. Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god!
And all that behind it's a big turd.
So what?
Yeah, that's all it is the turd turned 90 degrees. So I just manipulated it, turned it, in line with the intestine. It came right out, and then within 5 minutes, you could see the next photo. The thing was almost all the way back in.
Was it doing it? Were you doing this underwater? Like, is that when you were like kind of pushing out or do you just did this?
Nah, just
raw dog, bro. Fuck that.
No lube, no water, nothing.
Fucking straight up.
And then that was like right after it came out.
Okay, I thought this one died though. I thought it died after this.
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's still live. Are you sure about that? I can go.
No. This is like a 15-year-old picture. So.
Okay, maybe you're just showing off an example because you had a situation like this like 2-3 years ago with a female, hold back female. Remember you shared in the chats? You don't remember?
Man, this has happened so many times, and this has been like one of the worst ones, especially within. Was it an adult?
Yeah, it was a sub-adult. It was like 3 years old. It was like 2-3 years old. Yeah, and
I don't remember.
Yeah, damn.
Well, Alex and I took a video of us reducing ours. He's working on editing it now. I think Sal or Jaffe's helping him out. But he'll have a video online about how we reduced it. Because luckily, it was nice. There were 3 of us there. I manned the camera and then Alex and Logan essentially held the snake. Alex manipulated it. We had it under running water the entire time just to keep everything wet, soften up that turd. And, if you want to check out Alex's YouTube video, probably within the next couple of weeks, I think he wants me to feed it a couple times, and so he can give kind of an update about it's doing good. It went back on feed and all that kind of stuff. But I think it would be. I've seen prolapse videos before, about people reducing them, and so. But you should check out Alex's YouTube channel here in the next month to see. I think it was a valuable learning experience for both of us for sure. Maybe
Santa Claus will bring a Trap Talk episode where that video is put out somehow. Who knows? We never know, Bill. These people might get.
We never know with these things.
Yeah, you really don't. I will tell you one thing that I've learned with the prolapses, and I think Gary said this in his prolapse video. I like not going in there right away and putting it back in physically, like almost seeing if it will go back in on its own. Like almost waiting 24 hours. Do you guys do that at all? Like, do you guys see if it goes back in on its own, depending on how severe it is, or do you just go in there and?
Well, I can just tell you in my experience, the turd was not going to come out.
Okay. So
no way.
So that's what I meant to say is, okay, you get the turd out, right? Let's say you do get the turd out. Are you still going to put that prolapse back in on your own, or are you going to see after the turd's out, is it going to go back in on its own without you having to?
You're there. There's no reason to assist it and get that prolapse back in. And like I said, it was, she almost did all the work on her own. But she needed a little help, a little pushing, away from the vent to get that, to get her guts back inside. So I would definitely say, as long as you're there, just do whatever you can to get it back in place, put the animal. Of course, we soaked her after. and then just get her back in there and let the healing process begin.
Yeah, because I kind of jumped a little too quickly, grabbed probes and physically put them back in, and I try my best to do it like gently, and I notice a little blood sometimes me doing it, and I'm like, fuck, why maybe I'm not doing this right, maybe I'm fucking it up by even using a probe. So being scared of doing that again, I just left them alone for after, obviously clearing them out, because that's the hugest part, is you have to clear that shit out. Like that prolapse ain't going anywhere. Yeah, if that shit's still sitting there, or urates, and a lot of times people don't see it. Like, you got to almost look in there and kind of massage it and see, like, is there anything stuck in there? Because it's not always visible. Sometimes they're deep in there. Because I've worked out a fucking pretty gnarly urate before at one of these prolapses, massaging it and whatnot. But clearing them out is the first step to getting this prolapse fixed.
Yeah, the urate, a tough urate can do it too. I'm sure. Yeah. In my example, there were no urates. It was just a single, very well formed, size of a walnut turd.
Yeah. And so, Bill, do you have any holdbacks from this year? I'm sure you do. Like, you held back some stuff, right?
Yeah, I've got I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 holdbacks.
And what are those eating right now? I'm sure they're all beasts, but like, what do you have your 2025 stuff eating at this point?
Most of them are eating fuzzy mice now.
Okay.
I try to get them to eat, get them eating peach fuzzies before I even send them out. I've gotten to the point where, they get ASFs exclusively until they're able to eat a mouse with some fur on it. So, ASFs all the way up until they can take a peach fuzzy mouse. And then after that, it's just peach fuzzies to fuzzies. And then from then on.
I do get a lot of people, anytime we talk about prolapses, I do get a lot of people who just come to my DMs and say, well, is it due to hydration, humidity, which we've all like talked about, we've all adjusted. Like Bill, remember we talked about putting them over water and doing all, and we still get them.
Yeah.
I think it's all circumstantial, like it's all case by case, and there's multiple ways to cause a prolapse, I think.
Absolutely. I think you can do everything right with hydration and humidity and still get prolapses.
Yeah.
But I think really the only things that we can address are humidity, hydration, and food prey selection. And then after that, it's out of your hands, really.
Yeah. And the Marshall, your babies, for the most part, what are they eating now? They're already approaching a year, I would say. So.
Yeah, they're whatever. They're 9 months or something, 10 months. They are on large hoppers. I'm sorry. The biggest, large fuzzy, small hopper size.
Yeah. So eyes wide open, like they're just at that.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That stage before they start hopping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They probably could take hoppers, but I've been feeding these guys every week. So I've just been keeping the meals just a little on the small side, but just, more frequently.
How are you keeping up with your ASF supply, Bill?
A combination of Alex. Alex is producing ASFs, and then Alex has a local source of a pretty large ASF producer. In fact, I just got 100 red ASFs.
Like hot, like pinks, red pink.
Yeah, like day olds. It's like
perfect.
I want them the day they're born.
Yeah, they're perfect.
Because you give them 3 days and they're not the same size.
No, they grow quick. Yeah,
they grow quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, like literally day old ASF, reds, pinks, whatever you want to call them. It just still amazes me every time I pick one of these things up. I look at it and it's got hair on it. It may be 3 strands.
Yeah.
But it's a freaking day old and it's got hair on it.
Yeah, and the face is more formed. Like it's more of like, it's not more of like a little fucking mole looking thing. It's a little bit more, has a little bit more structure to the head,
The heads are definitely bigger.
Yeah.
If you compare a day old pink to a day old ASF, the ASF head's going to have a few strands of hair and the head's going to be slightly larger.
That's why I assist fed a couple Neos some pink heads, because they were ASF pinks, and they were actually a lot easier to fucking put down than a mouse pink that just goes to mush in one push.
Because it had more structure, right?
Yeah, way more structure, and it's more it's bigger. The head's bigger. and it's like more of a ball, and it just kind of, you know, pops in, but also it can still get messy. Like it could still, depending how you cut the back of the head, it's still disgusting. I still rather just do mouse legs. Or again, can we kind of get to the gizzard topic of what you're going to be doing this coming year, Bill? I mean, how much is gizzards going to be a factor when it comes to assist feeding? How are you feeling after all this time about it?
Yeah, you know, I still haven't decided. The clutch that's recently being established, I've had good luck with. They've all had 4 meals. I've got 13 Neos. 11 of the 13 took ASF pinks from day one. The 12th took it the next time I offered it. And then I've got one that luckily is a good striker. It doesn't want to eat it yet, but it's pretty easy to get an ASF head lodged in its mouth. So I haven't had to really decide on the gizzards for assist feeding yet. I think I'll still use it, but I think I will use it in conjunction with other things like, you know, maybe a gizzard, then maybe mouse tail.
Yeah, back and forth.
But I haven't had to really make that decision yet since we've discovered what we have about potential gizzard toxicity in feeding Neos.
What about you, Marshall? Are you going to still do gizzards if you need to with this? This
I'll use it. I'll use it as a you know, kind of a last resort before I try assist feeding.
Yeah,
because it's amazing how a snake that wants nothing to do with the pink, you put a gizzard in front of it, and man, it just takes it right away. You know.
Yeah.
Now I won't feed them as much.
Yeah.
I think this year I kind of was doing like 1 gizzard, 1 pink, 1 gizzard, 1 pink. I don't think I'll do that again.
Yeah.
Unless it's needed.
But you didn't have any really issues, right, Marshall? You integrating gizzards in with switching up between those and the pinks, like you didn't have any of the animals like that I experienced, right?
I had maybe 1 or 2 that I had to feed. I'm going to say 3, 4 gizzards maybe before they finally took a pink. But I think what I'll try to, I didn't even try to scent or anything. So I think this time, you know, given what's come out and given the information you've shared, I would try to at least scent with the gizzard and see, you know, try that before just giving it gizzard after gizzard after gizzard. Well,
I will say that it looks like that the animals that I had issues with the gizzards have made full recoveries. You know, once they've gotten back on exclusively ASFs or mice diets, they've made full recoveries. I have one that still hasn't, but it's one of the younger ones that hasn't had that many rodent meals yet. So it'd be interesting to see if it recovers as well. But all of the others have recovered, so that's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's also good. You were able to kind of notify and, at least see this happening, because I was getting real comfortable with the gizzards, man. I was going back to back. Like, I was like, holy shit, these things could throw it down. I was even giving some Mel some gizzards. Hey, here, take one of these, dude. They're great. But also it's like, we all learn by this. And so, and to Marshall's point, it would trip me out how I had a couple that didn't want nothing to do with the gecko, a live gecko, but then somehow at one point just took a fucking gizzard. So, but I think at the end of the day, we just want to get these things started, right? That's the whole point, is getting that engine going. And then once we do, we got to fucking switch it to the next one as soon as possible.
I still think it's a great nutritional source.
Right.
I think that it just lacks some of the nutrients they need, or probably what is happening is they're getting an overdose of some of the vitamins that are in that organ meat. I think that's probably what happened. But I still think it's a tool that can be utilized. I would go back to gizzards. I've got another clutch that's due to hatch in 2 weeks. And if they give me trouble and I have to assist feed, then I'll definitely use gizzards. But it won't be exclusive with gizzards.
Right. What an era, though, huh?
What about you? What about you, MJ? What are your favorite clutches for the year?
Yeah. Let's hear about your highlights.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, honestly, I want to say that I'm really happy with the chondro production this year. I think that's probably the highlight of the year for me, but nothing kind of feels the same way getting that emerald litter. I don't know, man. That emerald litter is like pretty important to me because I don't have as many emeralds as I do chondros. And so again, you only kind of get what you can get. And I was just happy I finally got that and held 3 of those back. And so, I don't know, man, honestly, I'm just so blessed about the experience I had with the amount of babies, I was able to kind of work with, cause I'm not gonna lie, man, a lot of you guys prepared me for what I was going to have to go through. But it definitely wasn't as bad as I thought. Mentally, I again, going through so many prolapses, that's what was weighing on me. I wasn't worried about the meeting. I was worrying about the prolapse thing because I feel like we've all said, not a big deal. Fucking throw something down their throat. They'll start eating. And I felt confident about that. But then the prolapse, that's what I was worried about. And, but yeah, I only got 3 out of the 70 to prolapse. So, I
take that all day long.
Yeah, and only 1 died. 2 of them out of the 3 are still alive. Knock on wood. But again, dude, I feel like what kind of not speeds you up, but you can't knock the experience that you're getting when you work with these things. And working with so many different babies and seeing what works and seeing the whole gizzard thing. Holy shit! This thing didn't want a gecko, but it took a gizzard. And then honestly realizing how many geckos I use this year. Not much. Not a lot, bro. I could count on one hand how many times I threw a gecko in there, but other than that, dude, I don't know. And what's crazy is I got a lot of geckos now. I don't know what to do with these. I don't know.
Listen, MJ, I'll be up front with you, and maybe Alex has already shared this, but we surrendered our gecko colony.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, you guys gave it a go, but I don't. But here's the thing. Yeah, sure. It's a cool, awesome tool to have. It doesn't hurt. They will take it, but it's also something that you don't want to sustain them off gecko. You got to hurry up and get them off something else. So I don't know, it's not going to hurt to have that in the toolbox. But it was literally geckos ended up being my last resort. Before I had to fucking pick them up by the back of their head and shove something down their throat, I was giving them a gecko, and I only had to do that a handful of times, dude, surprisingly. So a lot of gecko lives saved this year, guys. Hope you're happy out there, gecko community.
You still don't know what to do with them.
No offense, but they're just, got a bunch of produce. So if you're my boy and you need a gecko, I got you. So, hit me up. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, Bill, what can you chalk up all your success up to? All the years of going through it, right? I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to is year after year after year, you just fucking keep learning.
Yeah. I mean, personal experience and learning from the good experiences and the bad experience of other keepers. But the bottom line is you have to learn from your own
mistakes,
your own failures, and your own successes. That's the best way to just reinforce what you're doing, right or wrong.
Yeah. Marshall, are you going to take things a little bit serious in the next couple years? And what I mean by serious, dude, the more heat you produce, and I know you're going to have probably a bigger year next year for sure. But when are you going to start hooking up the peasants, man? When are you going to start throwing crumbs to these fuckers and start spreading out your collection to some of these people? Maybe are you even at a point where you're looking at some of your stuff this year? Okay, I could part with that. Maybe I could let go of that. Any of that happened yet at all in your room?
Not really.
Damn.
I mean,
wow.
As long as I've got adult cages that are empty, which I've got 6 holdbacks now from 2022 that are coming up on whatever. That makes them
4
over 3 years, coming up on 4 years old now, so 3.5 that are in 5-gallon Cambros that are ready to be bumped up to adult cages.
Nice.
And I think I've got maybe 8 or 9 adult cages empty right now. So,
dude, my God, I need that so bad. My adult cages all maxed out, dude. I ordered more. Shout out to Steven and Ashley. But man, that's what it comes down to sometimes is the real estate. You got cages. I mean, Bill, I feel like that's not an issue for you, Bill, or is that, having this stuff ready for the, holdbacks and whatnot? Are you running out of space at all or no?
I would say no. I've still got plenty of room. You know, those Cambro racks that Stephen and Ashley make with the big Cambro tubs are so efficient space-wise.
Yeah, they are.
You could have so many sub-adults and even adults in those Cambro tubs, and they take up, in a rack, they take up literally a very small amount of space. So no, I've got room. I've got grow out room. But again, I've talked to before, I don't really want to grow my collection too much. I don't, you know, I don't want too many more adults, and I'm pretty satisfied, you know, with the stock that I have on hand. Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sure, Marshall, this coming year, you're going to be all over your shit as far as holding it back. I mean, on a truthful level, right? I mean, just because...
yeah, it's just going to, a lot of factors at play, but yes. You know, we'll see. I mean, right now it looks like I've only got one potential clutch, and I'm really not had much luck so far with any other pairings. Everything else that I've paired has like basically wanted nothing to do with each other. So for now, you know, I'm still trying. I'm giving them, you know, the weather's changing a lot now. Like we've had a couple cold snaps where it's gotten down into the, you know, into freezing, but not on a sustained level. Like this is the first week where we've got like, you know, 10 days where it's going to be in the 30s every night. So that's a pretty significant change. So I'll give it another, you know, I'll keep trying them and maybe try different, try mixing, you know, try a different male next time. Since I put this, you know,
I think the ability to mix and match is really important. I had, you know, I started my pairings really for the first time this week. I put Sickness 2.0 in with a new female, and he immediately grounded himself. I mean, just 3 days on the puppy pad. And so I took him out and I put him in with the female that he was successful with last year. They immediately locked.
Really?
Chemistry.
So
he knew. But also, she's just ready, probably. Like she's probably at that
ready.
point.
Maybe the other female's not ready. I mean, it's got to be the female, right? When he's immediately grounded, then you put him in with a different female, and he locks right away. That's a female issue. You know, she's just not ready, or an incompatibility issue. But my point is you know, to have the ability to do that, and a lot of people don't. You know, they're stuck with you know, one male or two males and two females, and but to be able to try out different compatibilities, you know, makes a difference. Again, we've talked about it before. It all goes back to, you know, your success is based on your numbers.
Yeah. And I've got another, hadn't even thought about this because he's still in quarantine, mainly because I've just been too lazy to move the quarantine rack into the main room, back into the main room. But I've got the snake that I picked up from Brian Susan on trade, which he's been in quarantine for well over a year now.
I was going to say, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's still in quarantine.
Because, like I said, I've just been too lazy to move him out.
But he's ready to go.
He's a little on the small side. He's 3.5 years old, so I mean, I could throw him in and see what happens. I mean, he's definitely, you know, of age. He's a little on the small side, but I may give him a shot too. We'll see.
I had a dude when I went to Brian Susan's house. He was showing me all his holdbacks. They're already like 3 years old. I'm like, what are you feeding these things? He said hoppers. I said, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why? He's like, I don't want to deal with that prolapse bullshit. Like he was somebody like he was in the game, and they kind of obviously got really he got success in other species. So he kind of he put chondros on the back burner, but went through fucking hell with them, and that never leaves you, obviously. So he was just doing what he had to do to keep them alive, I guess, but not fucking get the prolapses or whatever. But dude, I was like, Brian, you need to fucking feed these things, dude. Because I mean, they're fucking gorgeous animals. Remember I sent you guys pictures? I'm like, bro, look at these fucking things. They were nuts, but they were all tiny. So again, like, God bless Brian. He just didn't know better, you know. But I was like, bro, feed these things, please. Damn. So okay, so here's another thing, guys. The whole cruising thing, males cruising, has that always been the case that they want to get paired in your guys' book when you see that? Or is that not always the case? I'm just wondering how true the whole like male cruising thing is, that it's a sign they want to breed. I've had a couple males where I pair them, even to multiple females. They don't do shit. They're just, whatever. But also had males that do pair and lock up. I'm just curious what you guys experienced with the whole cruising thing.
I mean, I think it's a good sign they're cruising. To be honest, I'm not out in my room a lot in the middle of the night when they are cruising, but I'll go in and I'll see, well, they've knocked 2 of the 3 perches down.
Yeah.
So I know they've been cruising. But I don't think it's a huge indicator of if they're going to lock up or not. I mean, I think.
Well, plus you don't know why they're cruising. I mean, you got a room full of females. You might put him with one and maybe she's not ready, or you might put him with another and maybe she is ready. I mean, who knows where he's getting the scent from?
Yeah.
Or maybe he has to take a massive shit. I mean, possibly, right? I got a question for you guys. I think a lot of the times people get the assumption that, we feel what we work with is kind of pro-choice for anyone coming into the game. And I always feel like it's all dependent if you like locality stuff, go for it. If you want locality and designer stuff, go for it. But, in your guys' eyes, and we'll go with you, Bill, if you have someone who is either a customer of yours or they're asking you questions about help and they ask you about locality stuff and like, is it important to work locality into designer stuff? What would you say to that, Bill? Like, what would you be your answer to that person?
Well, I think it's just completely based on 2 things. People's choice, what they want to work with. And then again, people's financial ability to work with animals. And obviously locality stuff, you can get at a lower price point. You get it from a reputable source and it's captive bred. It's the same animal as a designer, just a different paint job. So I recommend people, if it's their first chondro, to get a locality or a locality cross, and not blow the bank on your first chondro, and make sure it's right for you and you're right for that. We've said it before. Rico's famous quote is, "Not all people are chondro people." And you're not going to know that until you get one.
Yeah, true.
So I think localities were the first thing I ever got getting into it. So I think it's whether you want to use it as a stepping stone and learn from it and move on to designer stuff, or if you just want to work with strict locality, no right or wrong.
What do you have to say, Marshall?
Yeah, I mean, all things come in cycles in this hobby. You just think back about what comes in and out of say style or whatever. And sooner or later, there's not going to be any more localities. So, and everyone's going to be working with designers. So even though maybe they're more inexpensive now, maybe it's not always going to be that way. I mean, who knows? I do like the idea of getting new blood in. I haven't really done it myself just because I've been line breeding so heavily just for the albino. But I do think, like, if this albino was a male, 100%, I would buy some locality Biak females from Patrick or from whoever. I'd get a few and breed the albino straight to that, and just get some new blood in there. Patrick or MJ.
Marshall makes a great point. There are not a lot of people that if they have a Biak 5-year-old female and they have the choice to breed it to a Biak male or a designer male, if you're just talking about financial incentive, it's a no-brainer to breed that Biak female to a designer male. It's a no-brainer, financial wise. But if you're a purist and you want to produce pure Biaks, then go for it. I haven't seen that. I don't know a whole lot of people that are just cranking out pure Biaks, that have 5-6-year-old breeder Biak females.
Yeah. Patrick. Yeah. I think he has a 4-year-old female that he produced in 2020. I know, Patrick, you're in the chats, or 5-year-old female that he held back, but not a lot. You're right. There's not a lot for sure. I mean, I held back quite a bit. But again, too, like it depends what your goals are first and foremost, and like, are you in a rush to make something crazy? Because we all know everything stems from locality stuff. If we kind of go back to the beginning days, it all came from locality shit. So, I mean, one thing that always stands out to me is, you know, look at the Monocory line that Gary works with, and like look how many years of proving that out, what it does now. That's those
and David as well.
David, of course, 100%. Shout out to David Brahms, but you know, you're not going to pay $1,000, $1,500 for one of those red Neos. I'm sorry. You're gonna be paying a lot more money, closer to designer cost money. Maybe not fully like Black Neo money, but still a few $1,000s easily. And those sell like hotcakes. Like those, you can't, those fucking snakes sell so quick. Those David Brahms Monocories and those Prada lines that Gary have, hotcakes, dude. Seriously. And so, and yeah, that's technically pure locality shit. So I think there's still so much meat on the bone, right, guys? Even with locality stuff, like I'm a fan of people who are all gun ho about making like locality stuff even more crazier, because how many years of work do we have behind these pure localities? Not many. So we're gonna see crazier shit as we go along if we stay true to these some of these locality projects. So we have a lot
to be a much longer project, though.
Yeah, way longer.
As opposed to taking, say, you know, a melanistic designer or animal and plugging it into a BIOC, you can get crazy shit, you know, first generation.
Right, exactly. I mean, that speeds everything up, right? But again, how deep are your pockets? You know, not everyone has designer pockets, right? And again, I feel like there's entry levels for everybody. I couldn't even afford imports when I first came in, and I eventually was able to afford an import. And now I'm on Bill's fucking ass and Marshall's ass for a Neo all the time. So that's just how you evolve into things. But it's also like to each their own too, right? It's kind of like we're at a buffet, dude. There's 4 different countries with their food. I don't know what you like to eat. Go figure it out. And so you kind of have to figure out what your goals are. Because, you know, shout out to Carly, but man, Carly's making some crazy fucking yellow neonates right now that stay yellow. I feel like some of that Kingline shit that she's working with. And she's one of many people right now, I feel like, that work with really awesome lines of yellows. Of course, Mark Hager. You know, then we have John, is it Lucky? John
Lucky,
right? Lecky?
Yeah, I think so.
We need that guy on the show. John Lecky, please come on the show. Appreciate it. That'd be great. Almost. I keep bugging him about it, but yeah, I mean, either way, right? I feel like you choose your weapon. Do whatever you choose. I don't think you can go wrong. This is an awesome game to be in.
Yeah, you know, any Condor clutch is a good Condor clutch.
I'm just kidding.
I stand by my statement.
That is facts. Honestly, all jokes aside, you're not gonna frown at a fucking clutch of Condors that are all perched, that are all out of the egg. You are gonna frown at the otter if they're dead in the egg. I'll tell you that. That's just normal though, as far as dealing with that shit. But you're right, Bill. I mean, and even my ball pythons, man. Like I love breeding shit. I like seeing them alive. Like it's such a cool thing to experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man, nothing compares to Chondros, man. I love everything, but I feel like that's the biggest reward I've experienced in the reptile game is Green Tree Pythons, because the uphill battles that are involved and the scars and the fucking, you know, the shit that you have to go through to finally, you know, where you could take a deep breath and say, wow, like I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. When do you say you did it?
Technically, right. When?
I mean, like, you know, I say I did it when I've got 15 meals in a chondro. And then I go, well, okay, I did it.
Yeah, I guess 15. But even then, you're not even out of the woods. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I think obviously one thing I've experienced this year, and you guys could attest to this, is like you have a good feeling about a Neo when you see it, the way that its demeanor, it's the way it eats. Like you just have a good feeling, right, Bill? Like I'm sure you've seen like you're gonna be a fucking stud. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like shows no flaws in the way it perches. It's fucking here. It's here to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Another question for you. Actually, hold on. Go to my my outline here. Excuse me. Okay.
Marshall has his if you need it.
I know. Well, okay, guys. So kind of bridging the locality talk into like, do we really shame yellows, and do we really think yellows have no purpose in this hobby? Why don't we go to Marshall first?
I do think we shame them.
Damn.
I do think we shame them on the show.
I feel like you prepared to answer.
Wait. Let me start over. I do feel some people on the show love shaming yellows. I'm not going to say any names, but I like them both. I mean, obviously, I don't produce a lot of yellows. I haven't, just because people want reds. But you know, I like a yellow every now and then. My first chondro I ever bought was yellow. You show people who are just getting into it. You know, when I first, the very first one I bought, I wanted a yellow. It wasn't until I, met Eugene and met Trooper, and then that's when the brainwashing with the reds started. So, but is it deserved? I don't think so. I mean, is it? I don't know. Maybe it is deserved. I mean, it is. It's not untrue, right? I mean, we're just so much further ahead, selectively breeding for reds, that who knows if the potential is there for yellows. I think it's going to be a long time before you see yellows that are on the same level as reds as far as like designers go. But that just depends on the line. Some of the high yellow stuff, like you were mentioning earlier, those are all yellow babies. Some localities look better. The yellow ones look better than the red ones. So I don't know. It just depends. I think the fact that, just those reasons, and I think that they do get an unnecessarily bad rap.
All right, let's go to Bill.
Well, I think we shame them in jest. So, it's like picking at the slow kid at school. You just in your heart you really love them, but they're easy targets.
Holy shit! Oh, what the fuck? Wow, dude. Woo. So we definitely shame them then.
I think we shame them in jest. I mean, I'm like Marshall. I bring somebody into my room and they see a red, now not necessarily a black Neo, okay, but they see a typical red that's in my room, and then they see the yellow. Most people go to the yellow. They like the look of a yellow Neo better than the look of a red Neo.
I just think, I had a Google search shame. What does it really mean? I feel like this is a pretty strong word. It says a painful feeling or humiliation or distress caused by consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. That is wild. Are you sure we shame them like that?
I'm sure. I know there's foolish behavior on this show for sure.
There is definitely foolish behavior on the show.
I digress. Okay. Well, I just want to say, because I feel like one of the things that I get, and I'm based off what Marshall just said, maybe I deserve it, but people are like, oh shit, like, yeah, careful. Don't want to hate MJ, or don't want to talk about yellows around MJ because he hates them. And I don't, dude, that's not the case at all. Like, I don't think yellows have no purpose. I mean, I feel like here's the thing, people who are spending a lot of money in this game, they want some sort of certainty for something amazing. They want something cool. Obviously, that's why they're paying a lot of money. We can't give you something really certain in general, but we feel a lot more confident giving you a fucking black or red looking Neo and telling you're getting yourself something special here versus a yellow Neo. That's all I'm saying. If you want to talk about where your money that you're spending thousands of dollars on could go to, that's going to potentially get you something fucking insane, well, then historically we know that's what red Neos are doing, and we just don't have that with yellow Neos yet. Right?
Yeah, but you look at the price point of a yellow versus a red.
Yeah,
night and day. It's a half of the price. I mean, or less than half of the price.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody getting into the game,
it's perfect.
Then I think absolutely, acquiring yellow Neos and working with them and getting experience with them, is a great way to go. I recommend it fully.
Yeah, and I think Mark Hager brought this up. I think you could get some really insane shit when you go from red to yellow Neos. You know, make sure that red's a red dominant. But I'm just saying, like, you could get some really, really cool offspring when you mix the two Neo colors together.
Oh my God. I mean, Jaeger Biscuit.
There you go.
Classic example.
Yeah.
You know, they threw red and they threw yellow, and some of the yellows turned out phenomenal, high yellow, but some of the reds turned out like Sickness 2.0.
Dude, okay, we know people who've bought in Jaeger productions that are red dominant. You know that, right, Bill? I mean, Alex is one of them.
Top Cheddar's red dominant.
I didn't want to say it because the last time I said some information, he got so mad. MJ,
well, he posted that yesterday.
He posted it.
That Top Cheddar's red dominant.
Yeah.
That's I'm not up to date. Congrats, Alex Warren. That's amazing. But yeah, good point. Okay, so let's talk about that, Bill, because Jaeger was a yellow Neo or a red Neo? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jaeger was red. Biscuit was yellow.
Red that could produce both.
But Jaeger was not red dominant.
Okay, yeah, right, because he could produce both. He could
produce yellow, yeah.
So Jaeger's, so the, I guess, responsible person of making a Jaeger baby red dominant was the female. What female was that? That Top Cheddar female? The Top Cheddar baby came from that female?
I can't remember. I think it was a yellow female. Yeah, it had
to. But how would that baby be a red dominant then? There's no way.
No. Top Cheddar was red dominant because he was bred to a female that was yellow, and the resulting clutch was all red. So that's how he determined.
No, but I'm talking about Top Cheddar's mom, right? So because Top Cheddar's a red dominant. So yeah. How is that possible? Like, since Jaeger could do red and yellow, you would need to have a female that's a red dominant.
No, you just would have to have a female that was red. She wouldn't need to be red dominant.
Okay, so it just has to be red. But that also depends on her lineage of red too, though, right? Because the more reds involved in this lineage, then the chances are you could get red dominants. But like for instance, and I'm just curious, because if Jaeger were to bred to a red Neo, but also could produce yellow, then you're not going to get a red dominant baby out of that pairing, correct?
No, yeah, you can.
You can.
1 and 4 will be red dominant.
It's like head to head.
It's like head to head. You can get visuals from head to head, just like, yeah, Marshall's right.
Okay, because I thought if that snake had possibilities of producing a yellow Neo, that's still technically could only make a het. It can't make a red dominant. But no, so if it's a red,
it can. It can. As long as both parents are red, you can produce a red dominant Neo.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, and we've all talked about like they're not quote unquote being morphs in a sense in chondros, but I mean, I feel like, do you think that's going to change at some point? I mean, I think maybe not only with stuff that could pop up or stuff that we could see out of the wild, but at some point in time, this whole red dominant thing has to lead to something, you would think, right? Like, how's this even a thing if there's no morphs?
Well, I don't know, because the phenotypes of a red dominant could be anything, right? Could be blue, could be yellow, blue, black, could be whatever.
Right. Doesn't stay red.
Yeah, and when you're talking about morphs, I'm considering like albino. Albino's really it's really only morph in green sea pythons. I'm just waiting for a pied to pop out.
Yellow is a morph, Ryan said. Ryan also said real chondros are only ones worth having, whatever that means. Fucking guy. Dude, whose friend is that? Oh, speaking of friends, check this out, guys. I got something I want to share. This isn't on the agenda. I apologize. But apparently Ryan's homie produced bowling python.
You had to go there?
Apparently Ryan I'm just kidding. It's not Ryan's friend. But guys. Oh, wait a minute. It was a joke. Okay. I take it back. He did not produce bowl. Guys, can we talk about this? This is wild. Bill, have you ever seen this before? Someone lying about producing bowling pythons? What's your take on this, Bill? I got to ask you.
Well, I'm certainly no Bolin's expert. I wouldn't know captive bred from imported from farm. But yeah, that picture looks pretty shady.
You don't put shredded paper in with in little wooden birdhouses.
I think even if you look closely in the wood box, it says "Made in Indo." If you look close enough.
It says P&G right there. The shredded paper. Nobody in America uses shredded paper as a substrate. Nobody. Like, dude, clearly, I don't know what the fuck this guy was thinking. Marshall, your years of experience in the hobby, what does your head wrap around when you see something like this? Like, what do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't. No, I'm not really in the market for any bowling, so I didn't really give a shit. But you know, you can't with the internet, man. It's a small community. It's a small, you know,
it's a trap, man. It's a trap.
There's no way you can do anything nowadays and not get caught. Not get caught if you're lying or you're ripping somebody off or you're selling bad animals or you know, a deal goes bad or, you know, whatever. I mean, everybody, it's so easy for somebody to make a post and then the whole world knows everything, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know what this guy was thinking. I don't know him that well. I've never met him. I mean, obviously I've known him I just know him through Facebook or whatever, but I don't really know anything about the guy. I think that was pretty foolish to think he was going to post that and get away with it.
And what about the fact that he even said his partner, like, I think his name was Alan. He's like, Alan, finally, after all these years of work, our fruitions have come true.
Dude, what the fuck?
I was like, poor fucking Alan, man. That dude just had his heart shattered.
Alan had a rough week for sure.
Man, that's a rough week right there, boys.
He's probably going by every message that's saying congratulations, just deleting it.
How many people do you think contacted him and saying, you know, how can I get one? How can I secure one?
Put me on the list. Put me on the list.
I got to be careful because a lot of my friends liked this fucking post, and there were so many people who were like, oh my God, you did it. And at first I was like, whoa. But then again, like, how do you not look at this picture and fucking think, shredded paper? Like, can we kind of really think about this at first? And again, I know people are just benefit of the doubt. You know, I guess there's nice people out there, but really, guys, like, I'm surprised people did not connect the dots a lot quicker, dude. It was me. Well, I got green lighted to fucking gaslight this fool, and goddamn, it worked. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I think it was Gary that sniffed him out, like initially, right?
No, well, I had intel and started putting out crumbs on this dude's post, like sharing the actual original photo of the screenshot that showed 2024.
Yeah.
And that's when people are like, what? And then he was in the fucking comment section saying, like basically not admitting it at first until enough people got involved. And he's like, got you guys. You shouldn't always believe what you see on the internet.
It's like, MJ, it's like the guy that stole that $10,000 ball python off the table and he was caught on.
Oh, yeah.
And then he comes back and tries to say, oh, it was a joke. I was going to give it back later and that kind of shit. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
The California show,
dude.
I forgot. Can we get it? Can we rehash it real quick?
Okay, yeah, for sure. So this was okay, dude. Oh, we got kicked off of Facebook. I wonder if this dude reported us. We were having troubles. Oh wow, sorry, Paul. We were just kidding. Anyway.
Wow, he owns Facebook. Jeez.
Dude, billionaires got pull in this fucking world, okay? So anyways, all right, let's get back to, I just had, and again, that's not Ryan Young's friend. I want the record to reflect.
Ryan doesn't have very many friends, so
I just don't.
Let's not, you know, put him in with Ryan's friend category.
Yeah, please. I was just being MJ there. I was just kidding.
I just don't know how the thing started. It sounded like he just posted the picture at first, and then he didn't say he bred them. People started asking questions, and he just like kept digging himself into a deeper and deeper hole there.
Okay, well, let's just talk about it. He called me to explain what the fuck what the purpose was, and I heard him out, and all I could hear is wanting to create awareness as far as how much the people pulling these snakes in the wild are actually getting paid compared to what they're being sold for. So it sounded like he wanted to expose what the people here in America are selling, like profit, like what they're getting profit wise, which I'm like, how does it have anything to do with you lying about producing bull and python?
Nothing.
And then when I told him that, he said, I did it to ruffle some feathers and get awareness. It's the best way to get people's attention. That's what he said. It was the best way to get people's attention. I'm like, well, how did that work out for you, bud? Fucking, because you got it. And it sucks too, bro, because I mean, I think people who love this shit enough, they want to see a post of someone producing fucking bull and pythons. I mean, again, that's a huge celebration for the hobby when that happens. So that's just a species that is so delicate, bro. I don't know why you thought.
Well, really, I think Gary used the word uncommon valor. You know, when you claim to be a military guy, you know, use your military discount, and you were never in the military. You know, to me, you know, when he made that post, it was just shitting on all the people that have worked for a decade or decades to produce these things, and whether they were successful or not. You know, we know the real players in the game, right?
Exactly.
I mean, did he ever show his adults? Did he ever show any locks? You know, all of a sudden he just posts his clutch of bull and pythons. You know, it's like it's just a terrible thing to do to the people that are really truly involved in the project.
Yeah, and again, the whole motive of trying to paint the picture of like the profit being made, regardless, why is it any of your business? First and foremost, like you're not the one fucking buying these and bringing them over first, you know, and not only that, like these guys didn't mark up the fucking prices on bullens. You could blame Nerd for that one. Like that's why that happened to that, but the market's the market. And so I mean, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, I just, no matter what the motive was, not a wise move. But what the fuck are you gonna do? It's pretty crazy. All right, so enough of Ryan's friend. Back to the agenda. All right, Bill, you're gonna lead this one, buddy. I don't, you know, whatever. I'll let you get into details if you want, but there was a time and place recently where you had a lot of people come to bat for you, Bill, only because there was a post being made that kind of made it seem, well, obviously you weren't brought up, but you spoke up because you got nothing to hide, right?
Sure.
But you know, at the end of the day, Bill, like I've always talked about, one of the things I'm so proud about having you a part of this is like you inspire me to take care of people. You inspire me to fucking do right by the customers. I've learned a lot off of how you take care of your people. So to see that post threw me off, threw a lot of other people off. But having a name, like having a reputable name, like could really change things for you in this game, you would say, right?
Well, we've talked about it before, you know, especially these days of social media. You can do 100 things right and please 100 people. But if you have one who is not pleased, you know, that can burn a lot of bridges. In other words, that one power out of 100, you know, can really, you know, ding your reputation. And so I think it's really important that when something like that happens, you're totally transparent about what happens. And I'm happy to go into details with that scenario. The ultimate outcome was a good outcome.
Good.
You know, it was complicated because there were two buyers involved in the animal. And I had, you know, spoken with one, not spoken with the other, asked the other to contact me, and he, you know, about the scenario, the situation, and instead of contacting me, he made that post. So, you know, I think he didn't do things ultimately the way that we would expect people to do things. You know, the number one rule is, well, if you have an issue, contact the breeder first. You know, try to hash it out with the breeder. If you can't get something worked out, take it to social media by all means, and you know, and have your peace. The problem is that he did not do that. If he would have sent me that post in a private message or picked up the phone and called me, then, you know, things would have been worked out more easily, you know, on his end, especially. But he chose not to do it. I think he was, you know, I'll be completely honest. I think he was just naive about the way things work. I really do think it was kind of an honest, I don't know if mistake's the right word, but I think he would have done things differently now that things have played out. So again, it really is a very small issue. You know, when I'm sending out hundreds of these animals, there's going to be an issue, right? I expect there to be an issue, and I'm surprised there's not more issues than I've had to deal with. But this was a relatively small blip. It got taken care of, but it made it more complicated because there were two buyers. I was in close communication with one, who was an excellent communicator. The other one was not.
So I got a question for you. Like, what's the best policy and procedure behind, you spend X amount of money for a snake, and we're talking about a Bill Stiegel snake. We're talking about a snake. We're talking about a lot of money here, right? You get this snake in, you confirming that the snake's good with the seller, that the customer got it. They're happy. They feed the snake. A week goes by, 2 weeks goes by. After they confirm everything's good, they notice a blemish. You checked it out that week. You said everything was good. So where does it not land on the seller no more? Meaning because even you, Bill, again, I'm not sure what the actual outcome was, but let's paint this scenario where I sent you a snake. We both agreed it looked great. You're fine. A week later, you see something wrong with the tail. And you're just like, I don't remember seeing that, but they're showing you pictures and it's been a week. It's been 2 weeks.
No, I mean, I think it's a gray area. These animals in my care stay on the perch almost exclusively. It's very rare for me to get a neonate off the perch, inspect it weekly or monthly or whatever. But I do give it a good inspection when I'm putting it in the container. This blemish was so small. I can't even, I don't know if there was a picture posted on the post eventually.
If I can find it, let me see.
The defect in the animal was incredibly small. Maybe it was there when I put it in the tub. Maybe it wasn't. I wouldn't argue that it was or it wasn't. My only point is that maybe it was there and maybe it wasn't. I didn't see it. The buyer didn't see it for a week. So again, a gray area. So, but the bottom line is if there's an issue, you need to contact me. You need to, make me aware of the issue, which one of the buyers did. The buyer that was actually in the person's possession. The other person has never seen the animal, in life. He's only seen pictures of it and he was only shown a picture of the blemish. So, again, it was a little more complicated because there were two buyers involved, and one of them the person that made the post hasn't even seen the animal in life. But again, when did the kink occur? Did it occur in my possession? Did it occur during transport? Did it occur in his possession? The bottom line is nobody knows.
Yeah.
But I'm like you, Bill, I'm even before I even consider selling a fucking snake, I'm dissecting every look of this snake before I even think about what I even want to do with it. And then especially when I pack it, right? If I'm packing it, I'm looking for any fucking thing. I'm making sure this thing is 100% minced before I put this in the deli cup.
Yeah.
So that's why, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, when you pack it, you obviously have to take it off the perch. You have to have it in your hands to put it in the deli cup, which I did.
Right.
I noticed no abnormalities, no blemish. The defect was so small that it could have been there and I missed it.
Yeah,
absolutely a possibility. But it complicates things. If he would have got it and the next day he said, "Hey, I got this animal and it's got this blemish, in its tail," that's a no-brainer. That's either it happened here or it happened during shipping. The fact that it went on for a week, a little over a week, it had already eaten for him, and then he notices it. It's just a gray area, right? And that's when the communication is vital. You really have to communicate. I spoke to the initial guy that received it. I saw it. I recognized it. I noticed it. I affirmed that, there's a blemish there. Made him completely comfortable that it was, cosmetic. I have 100% confidence that it wouldn't affect the breeding of the animal. And the initial person that received it seemed to be happy with that. But I said, I want you to contact the other individual and I want you to, have him contact me. I want us to have the same conversation that I had with you. And he didn't contact me.
Yeah.
And he just made that post, and he said he tried to keep my name out of it. But when you say you spend $8,000 on a Neo, that pretty much narrows it down to about one person that's selling $8,000 Neos right now. So he did, he did by, not by definition, but he did. Everybody knew, or most people that knew, assumed the animal came from me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have, nothing to hide. I just wanted to address it. The cherry on top is he made the post on Thanksgiving Day, which really pissed me off.
What a thankful fucking moment.
That probably of all the things that pissed me off the most, because I can't see that post and just let it lie. Right.
Yeah, of course.
Family over here entertaining people. I see that post. I can't just let it lie. I've got to respond. I wanted to just wait till Monday and then reply, but I just couldn't. I had to give at least my 2 cents, and so
it was important.
That's the way it rolled out. Ultimately, I talked to the second buyer. I talked to the original buyer. We worked something out with a partial refund, and that's the way that it would have worked if he would have just contacted me privately.
Found out this year there's more partnerships than I expected. I mean, there's people who are collabing out there, which is cool. I mean, that's fine. But I think communication is fucking key with your partner, people, if you have one, and make sure everyone's on the same page. Because I'm sorry, I'm glad you guys squashed it, but that was definitely fucking out of pocket. There was no need for that post at all. But
I think the second buyer kind of, like I said, I think he's a little bit naive on the way things work. I don't think he meant anything ill-intentioned towards me or to try to, blemish me or bring me down or anything like that. I think it was just probably an honest mistake the way that he went about handling things.
We all learn, right? God damn, man, just go to the seller, especially somebody like Bill. Man, all doors always open, especially for his customers. Come on, we all know that. But honestly, Bill, you handled it really well. Definitely something in me, if I felt like I sent you a perfect animal, we agreed it was perfect. 2 weeks later, there's something wrong with it. I want to just be well, fucking good luck. But really, dude, if he's that upset and he spent thousands of dollars, I'll send it back. And I feel like that's the biggest pill you need to learn how to swallow in this game is just, even though maybe something might have happened, you got to be the bigger person sometimes in a situation like this.
If it would have been a situation where the initial receiver of the animal contacted me the day he got it or 2 days later and noticed that kink, then I would have been inclined to, offer to send it back. But it's a gray area.
It is.
I don't think that defect was there when I shipped it.
There you go.
But could I guarantee it? Would I bet my life on it? No. The fact that there was just a lag in the time of the reporting, then it made me, just a little bit less likely, to just say, hey, just send it back. I think, and what ultimately worked out is that we agreed on a partial refund on the animal, and now I think all parties are happy.
And that's what matters. Well, guys, great episode. I promised Bill we'd only do 90 minutes tonight. But before we do end things, let's go around the horn real quick. Marshall, anything you want to close off with? Anything that this is the last time it's just us in 2025. So if you got a speech prepared, go ahead, Marshall. You know what I mean?
No speech, but I mean, can't believe it that my Facebook anniversary came up. It's been 2 years since the first episode with Greg Maxwell here as of a week ago. Yep. Which is kind of crazy to think that it's been 2 years since we've been doing this already.
That's absolutely insane. Was Greg Maxwell our very first?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
He was. Yep, he was.
Yep.
Yeah. That's epic to have him as our very first guest.
Well, that was premeditated, Bill, so you know.
It took a little convincing. I was a little apprehensive about doing it at first just because of the, I don't know. I'm so glad that MJ talked me into doing it, and it's been great, man. It's been a lot of fun, and just talking to people that I probably wouldn't have gotten to know otherwise, and it's been a great thing. I'm
Bill?
excited about it still.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Marshall. Just so blessed that we have this episode. We have the people that, the people in the chat that follow this stupid show so religiously. I'm awed by it, to be honest. And I'm just thankful to have the platform and to be able to hang out with you guys once a week. And we've had some incredible guests on. I've learned so much from in the 2 years we've been doing this podcast from the people that we've had on and you guys. And so I just hope we can continue it strong in the next year.
I mean, dude, I could keep going if you guys can. Trust me.
I'll be here.
All right. Fuck yeah. Well, to capitalize on that, it won't take too long. I appreciate you two very, very much. You guys make Tuesday nights everything that it is for people to come and enjoy the learning. I mean, at the end of the day, we are attracting more like-minded people who just want to do good in this hobby. And some of this shit helps people's lives, man. Like, again, not everyone is in a good position in life. So coming here, listening to us has helped people. And I hope you guys know that. I get feedback about this all the time. So I think we're doing a lot more than we think, and I think it's awesome that I have two veterans like you who want to be a part of something like this that only feeds the newer people, the ones up and coming, the ones who are here. We're making this a whole exciting place right now. And again, I wouldn't be able to do this without you two on this Tuesday night. So I appreciate you two a lot.
Ditto, my friend. Ditto.
Likewise. Yeah.
We have 2 more podcasts before the end of the year. It's going to be epic. But for now, please go give Marshall Mendez a follow, Red Mountain Herps, and of course the mayor, Phoenix, Reptiles. Go subscribe, learn from the best. But give it up. It's a wrap for Marshall and Bill, ladies and gentlemen.
Looking forward to the Christmas season, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And the Christmas episode.
Yes. See you on the next episode. Hey, have a good night, guys. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Great episode. Again, thank you for all the love and support, man. I'm going to keep saying it to the end of the year, and I'll keep going after this. I appreciate all the support that you guys give us. And again, if you're somebody who likes to listen on the audio side of things, go after it, man. Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Spotify, all the major audio platforms. You can listen to all these episodes. And again, man, I really feel like this was a year that flew by. Best year of my life in the hobby for sure. It's going to get better next year. I keep telling myself that because I only want to get better. And I know this network is going to be a part of all the growth, and you guys being a part of this means everything to me. It really does, man. So thank you so much. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, select all. Be reminded of every single podcast released out of the network. And of course, if you want to support what I have going on further, if you want more behind the scenes, VIP outlook on Trap Talk and everything like that, my projects, come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. First link in the description below. Oh my God. Can you guys believe this? I'm just kidding. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a good night. Happy holidays. Catch you here Thursday night. And I'll definitely catch you here next Tuesday on the Treat Tuesday. And I'm out. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Green tree pythons, emerald tree boas, and plenty other arboreal snakes have been quite the popularity here at the Trap Talk Reptile Network, which brings me to today's sponsor, the Reptile Perch. Head over to the reptileperch.com and Reptile Perch on Instagram. See what type of design PVC perch is best for your arboreal reptile. But first and foremost, I would also check out David Brom's Green Tree Python availability on the website. And you can also check out his Instagram just to stay current on any projects or any productions that he posts. Thank you so much, David Broms, for your ongoing support. Looking forward to seeing what you have to show in the 2025 season. When you think about building a good community and being a leader of that community, nobody comes to mind better than Mark Hager over at Texas Chondros. That's right. Make sure you head over to TX Chondros on Instagram and also head over to Mark's website. See what he has available Green Tree Python wise, and be ready for quite the 2025 Green Tree Python breeding season out of Mark Hager. He's a veteran in the Green Tree Python game, one of the best and nicest breeders in the Green Tree Python game. He's been putting on the whole state of Texas for as long as I've known him. So if you want to see all the amazing other chondro keepers out of the state of Texas. Another good reason to go follow Mark Hager over at TX Chondros on Instagram. And again, head over to his website, texaschondros.com. You can find all the links in the description below. Thank you so much, Mark Hager, for supporting the trap. One of the biggest growths we have in the reptile industry today are the rare species of reptiles that aren't worked with. That's right. That's why I went ahead and partnered up again with Brian Susan over at SUNDOWN Reptiles. Brian works with species such as kahua geckos, gargoyle geckos, all species of tree monitors. He works with abronia and many other cool species geckos that you can check out all on his website. Head over to sundownreptiles.com, see what he has available. Brian's one of the best doing it in the reptile industry today. He's been on the show multiple times, so make sure you check out all of Brian Susan's episodes on Trap Talk Reptile Network. But more importantly, for the highest quality of captive bred reptiles, make sure you head over to sundownreptiles.com and make sure you give him a follow on Instagram. Thank you again, Brian Susan over at SUNDOWN Reptiles. One of the things I love about being a part of the reptile industry is all the learning, okay? Learning can be fun, and I can prove that to you. Thank you so much to today's sponsor, it's Gary Scavino over at GS Reptiles. I highly recommend you head over to his YouTube channel, follow all this man's content when it comes to learning about rare species of snakes you could be keeping in the hobby, and also just finding out how easy a lot of these rare species of snakes are to keep in general. So thank you so much, Gary Scavino of GS Reptiles. Again, head over to his YouTube channel. Also head over to his Instagram to be on top of all of his current work and be ready for a big year over at GS Reptiles. Thank you so much, Gary, for your ongoing support. I really appreciate it. Cheers.